What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning into the MoveOTX channel here today. And today we're coming at you from the small town of Portola Valley, California. And this is the Windy Hill Preserve. And I'm going to take you guys up along the ridge and we'll do the main trail in the loop. And you're seeing the parking lot area there. It's very, very crowded today. There's additional parking on Portola Road down that way where you can see that truck go by, and cars were lined up all along that way. So days like today, it's going to be like that. So here we are at the trailhead, and here's the main parking area, and I'm going to hike up this Betsy Crowder Trail and hike up Spring Ridge Trail all the way up to the summit here along Skyline Boulevard, and we'll do this main trek on back down Razorback Ridge Trail and back on in. Okay, so off we go. Oh yeah. Alrighty, here's our first junction. Now you can do two loops. You can go this way and go up that way, kind of, or you can take this way up Betsy Crowder Trail and traverse up the main fire road. So that's what we're doing here today. It's a gorgeous day here. Not too hot. A lot of people out on the trail, as you saw earlier. So we had our first heavy rain of the winter, and everything is really, really green out here. So like most Bay Area lower elevation trails, you're hiking in and out of oak forest, tree canopy, some single track, some fire road along the way. Just gorgeous today. Nice thing after a rain is the ground is kind of compact and it's not real dusty. A firm footing throughout. So I've done this trail before and it's not what I would consider highly technical. It's uphill along the main fire road to the summit. So while it is aerobically challenging for the first 3 miles or so, it's not technically challenging as far as the terrain goes. So we're still trekking along in the oak forest. So eventually we'll kind of come out of this tree canopy and we'll hike up the exposed hilltop fire road to the summit, and we'll get there eventually. Just gorgeous trail, well maintained too. You can tell they've kind of trimmed back some of the dry brush along the sides there. I think they kind of overdo that though in a lot of the Bay Area trails. They'll clear back so much that it just widens out the trail so much. Kind of takes away from the overall ambiance of the area. Not so here. So this trail, they've managed to really kind of keep it contained, so to speak. Alrighty, we're continuing. Still all smiles. Not tired. Not tired yet. I will be though, but not yet. Alrighty, coming out of the oak forest, and I think we're kind of nearing that fire road area. So we've emerged out of that oak forest in memory of Betsy Crowder. And we kind of reached our first little hill vista area. Plenty more of these coming up. And right away you're noticing the terrain has changed. No poison oak, no fern on the ground, just pretty much fields with patches of oak forest. Okay, so we're coming up here on our first major trail junction, and we want to go that way. Alrighty guys, another mild trail junction. That's where we're going. Windy Hill Summit, 1.8 miles. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's all uphill. So, goal today is just to maintain steady, maybe 2.5 mile per hour pace going up this hill. Probably have to stop and take a rest at some point, but not now. So we've definitely climbed out of the oak forested area, and that's where we're going, right up there. So this barren patch of hillside is our terrain for the next 1.8 miles. We're continuing onward and upward, and you can see here where they've mowed down some of that grass growth to try and keep the summer fire fuel in check. And this barren section of hillside, you can see this from all the way across the Bay Area. In fact, there's Levi's Stadium right there, Santa Clara, just through those hilltops. You can see that. And I kind of use this as a landmark, kind of, because you can see, again, you can see this hilltop from across the bay. And those of you watching from Fremont and South San Jose and maybe parts of El Viso, when you look west and you see a barren grass hill off in the horizon, that's where we're going. So I don't think my camera really does incline and decline justice, but it is nonetheless an uphill climb. So my suggestion when you do a trail like this is go slow, go steady, and you'll get to where you're going eventually. Alrighty, y'all, taking a quick little breather, still continuing onwards and upwards, and this is our first real kind of vista area where we can just get a view as to where we are. So I pointed out Levi's Stadium, Santa Clara, right there, and going over this way, there's Stanford University Tower, the Stanford Dish right there, and looking across is Fremont, Mission Peak, right there, covered up by the clouds. So doing a 360, Portola Valley is down in there. Foothills Park Summit is right along that hill crest right there. And doing a 360, we're looking west now. And Windy Hill Trail is right up there, and we're gonna summit right at those peaks, right up there. A lot of people out on the trails today. So a day like today after a rain, it's going to be like that. A trail that's this gorgeous to hike, and these mild weather conditions, it's going to be really crowded. So I know a lot of you guys look to hike as kind of a solitude, and that's still here today for sure, but there's also going to be moments where you encounter a lot of hikers coming back down the trail. So this trail, at least this main fire road, is dog friendly. So I'm coming across a lot of dog hikers coming down. Sticking to the plan, hike up the hill to that summit, and what we're going to do is crest along that ridge right along there and drop back down into this gorgeous oak forest and redwood. A lot of redwood up in this area too. So that should be awesome. So right now, hammering out the elevation and nailing down the feet and putting the work in right now early so that I can enjoy the downhill hike through that forest on the second half of this trek. That's how I like to plan my hikes generally, if possible. I like to start at a low elevation and climb up and out. Early part of my hike, when I'm still fresh and energized and all that, and I maintain a slow, steady pace. And from there, I hike down back into the trailhead or the main parking area like we're doing today. Not everybody likes to plan their hikes that way. Some people like to start off at a trailhead at a peak, enjoy the views coming down, and then traverse and climb back up on the second half. Alrighty, so had to do something I absolutely don't like doing, and that is changing my SD card in field. So, like a noob, I forgot to erase my SD card before it came out, so I had to swap cards in field. Got to take a long breather as a result. So, kind of our first real major vista view. Looking down across the Bay Area. There's Fremont Mission Peak. Mission Peak is right there. And Portola Valley is right down in there. So, we're continuing our trek onward and upward. I've had two groups hike past me so far. So I think I'm doing a pretty good job at maintaining my pace, despite how tired I am and a little short of breath. Alrighty, we are continuing up our climb. I know my camera doesn't do incline and decline justice. Hopefully, my shortness of breath here is. So I'm not tired or fatigued, just a little winded, a little short of breath right now. But I keep going, working on my breathing, Darth Vader breathing, like I like to call it. Kind of simulate high altitude hiking, although nothing really simulates that outside of the actual environment. Pause here, take a look back down into the Bay Area Valley. Whew! So I found out I had my camera set to time lapse for part of that hike up. So hopefully I captured all the main data points along the way. Whew! Alright guys, we made it. Hope the view from up here on my camera does it justice. But we are about to reach the summit of Windy Hill Preserve. Still smiles, not too tired, a little short of breath, but that's okay. All that means is I did a fast pace up the hill, or as fast as I could. And as you can see, Highway 35 is right there. And we've got some cars parked along the ridge, enjoying the view. They don't call this Windy Hill for nothing. They should call it Winded Hill, as in yours truly. Drum roll, please. Okay. So there's another trail junction up here. And I think, if memory serves me right, dogs are only allowed on the trail that we've done so far. If memory serves me right, I could be wrong. Let's confirm that up here. You guys, so here's where we are. So we parked way down here at the main parking right off Portola Road, and we hiked up Betsy Crowder Trail, hiked up Spring Ridge Trail, 1,000 feet, 1,200 feet, 1,400 feet, and we're right now right here at Windy Hill at 1,905 feet. And what we're going to do is we're going to hike along Anniversary Trail, go on Lost Trail, and hike all along this ridge here. I'm not sure how far I'll make it this way. I'll do this Razorback Ridge Trail, or I might cut across to Ham's Gulch Trail. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. And looks like these are dog-friendly trails. This? I don't think so. Doesn't look dog-friendly, although I could be wrong. There's a dog symbol right there. Oh, no dogs beyond this point. Okay, there we go. So no dogs along here. So there's the view from the vista, 1,905 feet. Alrighty, so here's where we're going. Herb Grench Overlook and Windy Hill Trail Summit. 0.2 miles this way. So most of our uphill climb should be done by now. So this is mostly going to be kind of rolling here as we hike along this ridge. I think the trail summit is right up here. And what we're looking at here is the view west over the peninsula mountain ranges and hillsides, and Pacific Ocean is here. Let's go this way. Let's hike up here to the actual summit. Oh yeah. Hoo-wee! Look at where we are, guys. Sorry about the wind noise. This is Windy Hill Trail Summit. So it's going to be windy. Oh yeah. Look at where we are. Hopefully you guys can hear me over that wind noise. That's the trail we hiked up, and we are here, 1,905 feet. Oh yeah. What a spectacular view. Okay, let's go around this way. And that is the view east. Again, towards Fremont, Mission Peak that way. And this, turn around, is our view west. That's our view west, and looking down over Highway Route 35 with all those cars on it there. And this is what I love most about the Bay Area. Just a little bit and you're out of it. You've got these gorgeous rolling hills, small roadway accesses, and trails all up and around these areas. Pacific Ocean is straight out that way. And here we are, just for orienteering purposes. California, windy, 1975. Okay guys, so now what we're going to do is we're going to hike along this ridge here, not against the road, but roadway, but inland a bit, and hike along this ridge going along here, and we're going to drop down into that redwood forest and do some switchbacks back and forth as we go down. Weather definitely changed a little bit as I came over this crest here. Definitely a lot cloudier and colder up here too. Not supposed to rain today, but you know how it is when you climb. It doesn't take much of an elevation change to really change temperatures and weather conditions. Ready. So we're continuing to hike kind of horizontally along this ridge here through these redwood forests, and if there's any doubt who owns this bench, Bob says it's his. So Bob, I respect the fact that that is your bench. I will leave that for you as I continue onwards. Ooh yeah. California poppies growing along the trail side. Haven't seen too many of those yet, surprisingly. So we've done most of our hill climbing already. Most of that is behind us. There may be some slight little elevation gains here and there, but for the most part we're headed across and then down. If my footsteps sound kind of different, it's because this trail is so packed down. We had that one rain, heavy rain, and all the loose dust and loose debris has completely re-solidified, and this is basically a paved road. Almost. And it is definitely colder up here along this ridge compared to where I started from. So if you plan on doing this section of the hike, at least the ridge portion of this hike, dress accordingly. Maybe a light sweatshirt would be sufficient. For me personally, I'm a very warm-blooded hiker, so just a little bit of activity and my body temperature elevates. Ah, gorgeous. Look at these redwoods. Wow. So cool. I don't normally hike through redwoods, so most of my hikes are oak forested. So this is going to be a real treat for the next few miles. Alrighty guys, we are continuing our trek through redwood forest. A little windy, I apologize for that. It's just going to be like that along this ridge here. I may have to turn on the wind noise reduction if it gets more than this. Hopefully I won't though. We'll see. And for what it's worth, it's really not that windy up here at all. So wind is maybe a few miles per hour at most. But it doesn't take much to blow out the audio on my camera here. So, I apologize for that. It's going to be like that here until we drop down off the ridge. Wow. Get a load of these redwoods, guys. Whoo-wee! Man. I need to do more redwood forest hike, I think. I mean, I love oak forest. It's kind of my home, but home terrain, I guess. But okay, got a trail junction coming up. Okay, we're going to go to Ham's Gulch Trail. We're going to hang a left right here and go back down this way through these oak forests, through these. Okay, we're at a trail junction. Ham's Gulch Trail is off to the left, and we're going to take this down through these gorgeous redwood forests. And that's the way we're going today, guys. Okay, so now the downhill descent portion of our hike begins. Through these gorgeous redwoods. Starting to get kind of muddy too. I would expect a little bit of mud this time of year. Not a whole lot though. Oh yeah. Hiking down through the redwoods. Hoo-wee! Lots of fern coming back down off that ridge. Hoo-wee! Getting windy too. Oh yeah, we're definitely on the downhill now. This is all downhill from here, guys. So one thing about hiking in dense forest is you kind of lose perspective of the vista points as you come down, but that's all right. No big deal. Oh yeah, we're still descending. I want to get a shot of this. Maple? I think that's a maple. Generally don't have a lot of fall colors here, at least on this trail. Everything pretty much year round is green. For the most part. I believe that's a maple. Someone in YouTube land comment on what that is. Just gorgeous. Look at all these fern hillsides, just beautiful. Almost prehistoric looking. Pretty cool. Getting pretty muddy too. Gotta be careful, watch my step. Definitely dog-friendly trails here. Just about every other group I encounter has a dog with them. And once again, that wind is picking up. Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully it's not too bad. I hope you can still hear. I think it's going to be like that as we come down off this hill. Go. Some more fall golden yellow leaf colors for y'all. Birds happily chirping away in the distance. Alrighty, so here's a good look back at Windy Hill. That's where we came from. That summit right up there, guys. And we're making our trek on down off that hill. I can just barely make out hikers and see people from here. Oh yeah. Whew! Chilly now. Should have brought my sweatshirt. Alrighty, we're still on our descent, and I'm pretty sure we're past the redwood forest part of our hike. And we're now back into oak forest canopy. Once again, lower elevation. California hikes are heavily oak forested. And definitely the temperature is warming up a little bit too. It's still a little bit breezy, but that breeze is much warmer now as I come down off that ridge. Poison oak everywhere. Don't ever hike off trails into that stuff. I know that kind of goes without saying, but those of you that aren't familiar with California trails, that's probably the most dangerous thing out here. So I don't think anybody would voluntarily hike off trail up into that stuff. The exception would be is if a tree had come down, fallen down, and blocked your path. And the only way around a tree like that would be down into that oak, into that poison oak, or up into that poison oak. Now you could try and climb over the tree, of course, but not always can you do that. So I pack carry in my bag. I pack carry a Baco Laplander backpacking saw with me, just in case, for those reasons. And I've had to use that before too, by the way. I was doing a windy hike around Folsom Lake in Folsom, California, and it's a huge lake. There's no way I can do the full trek all the way around in one afternoon, so I did an out and back. I did the out, and by the time I come back, a huge redwood, or maybe it was an oak, I think it was a redwood, a bushy kind of a redwood tree had fallen down and blocked my path. Alright, sorry, I had to pause for some hikers coming up. So, to continue my story, so anyways, on that Folsom Lake hike, the only way for me to get around this huge oak tree that had fallen was to lop off some branches and hike my way over, crawl my way over it. So it was exactly that scenario, a steep ledge off one way of the trail, and then some poison oak areas off to the uphill side where the tree had fallen down from. Alrighty guys, we're continuing our trek down, and it's definitely warmer now. Much warmer, I should say. Coming down off that ledge. It was getting cold up there. I have no idea exactly where I am along this trail. I'm doing about a 3.2, maybe a 3 mile per hour pace coming down. At least 3, more like 3.25 mile per hour pace. So, the problem is I kind of lost track of time, which I don't normally do. But a day like today, the weather's so nice. I left the GPS tracker at home, not really paying attention to my speed or my distance or anything like that. I'm just kind of wandering along the trail. Sometimes that's the best way to hike. Not always, sometimes. Alrighty, everybody. We're continuing our descent back on down, and looks like we're coming to the end, and another trail junction. So that was Ham's Gulch Trail, to Portola Road and Spring Ridge Trail. That's the way we want to go, this way. And lo and behold, there's a little creek running off here. First sign of running water. It's always nice and good to see that. Nice. Starting to hear children's voices too off in the distance, so I know we're not too far. Would have shot some more video footage down by the creek, but there's some kids, little kids playing there, so don't want to get them on video. So, kind of did our little hike up and out of that creek area, and we'll be approaching the main fire road back into the parking lot pretty soon, I think. Ooh, what was that? That was a gopher, I think. Did you guys see that? I think that was a little gopher poking his head up. Hope you guys caught that on video. Okay, we're getting close now. I can actually hear cars, so I know we're getting close. Alrighty, y'all. One more trail junction. I think we need to go this way. Alrighty, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up here. This is the main fire road back on down into the parking lot area. There's some kids behind me, so I can't turn my camera around and, you know, capture them. So I think we'll just wrap up here, guys. So as always, everybody, thanks for joining me here today on this hike adventure through Windy Hill Nature Preserve. Please feel free to post comments and questions down below, and I will make sure to answer them. As always, everyone, stay safe, everybody, and enjoy the outdoors. I'll catch you all later on the next one.